Hello, it's Benjamin from the Paradox Parables. Let me tell you a short story. It's the early 20th century. Steam trains had just become a staple, we invented the vacuum cleaner, and Dr. Love finally made lipstick kiss-proof.
The little item known as your lipstick is by all odds your most important cosmetic.
And oh yeah, we invented penicillin, the marvel of the modern world, until it wasn't. Today we're gonna find out why that is. Roll intro. So welcome back. Before we mention penicillin, it was created September 28, 1928 by Alexander Fleming, a professor of bacteriology. With its discovery and subsequent mass production, the world was introduced to its first true antibiotic. As a result, surgery, life expectancy, and healthcare became much better, more effective, and cheaper. But as the old saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And the end is seemingly in sight when it comes to antibiotics. The original versions of penicillin stopped working relatively quickly within 5 or so years, and scientists had to keep updating and testing new versions to try and compensate for this unexplainable lack of function. But what they didn't know at the time was this little thing called bacterial resistance. Bacterial resistance is the name for when a type of antibiotic becomes useless against fighting bacteria. This phenomenon can be explained by our good old friend Darwin over there. Natural selection, like if you don't know, is a theory proposed by Darwin and largely believed. Natural selection involves organisms adapting to their surrounding environment for survival purposes. So how does this apply to us? Well, I'll show you. Can you do me a favor? Can you pick up the bottle of Purell off your desk and just pass it through the camera? Just like, oh, you don't have a bottle of Purell. Well, that's really unfortunate. Maybe I should have went and bought the prop for once. Notice how it says kills 99.9% of germs? Ever wondered why it has that very specific number on there? Now, I'm not saying they're lying. They do actually kill 99.9% of germs. It's that 0.1% that survives that makes a huge impact over time. Thanks to natural selection, that 0.1% is specially adapted via random genetic mutation to survive current era antibiotics. Over time, that 0.1% will reproduce, passing its immunity down to its offspring, becoming 0.2%, 0.4%, 0.8%, until eventually all antibiotics are ineffective. Scientists are worried that through overuse of Purell and other antibiotics, we are soon going to see a day where antibiotics are completely ineffective. I'll be right back. And completely ineffective antibiotics could mean disaster. Virtually every surgery would have its mortality rate dramatically increase. Current treatable viruses like mono or streptococcus would become excessively more dangerous, and there might even be a possibility of extinct diseases returning to rear their ugly bacteria-filled heads. Look, even Lysol spray has a form of antibiotics in it. Oh, so nice. Who could have ever guessed that this could be the reason humanity succumbs to death and disease? But it smells great. Now I know what you're thinking. Benj, couldn't you just improve the formula to fight the next wave of bacteria? Well, they can, but only to a certain point. Antibiotics are made from types of vegetation, and I'm sure there is some undiscovered miracle flower out in the Amazon rainforest that could save us all. But until we find that flower, it's seeming like this round of antibiotics could be the last for us. Even this week, a so-called superbug was found in the US being potentially very deadly and genetically adapted to be immune to all antibiotics. Through our overuse of antibiotics, we could just be priming the world for a superbug takeover. And that is both a hilarious and scary image. Now, I'm not saying to stop using antibiotics altogether. They save countless of lives per year. But overusing them every time somebody sneezes could be devastating. So next time you're going to put on Purell, just go wash your hands instead, because unless specifically advised, you could just be doing more harm than good at this point. Anyway, that's it for today. Check in soon for our next video, and take that, neat freaks. Trying to kill the world with your cleanliness. Click up top for our next episode on robotic origami ingestibles, and click here to go to our blog where you can read more about the implications of an antibiotic-free world, and what they're talking about with the new superbug. I'm Benjamin, and thanks for watching the Paradox Parables. You're going to have a fantastic blooper reel.